Nick Nolte playing an alcoholic. Shock.
Yeah. Very, very far from reality, this one. But when Tommy's underdog brother, Brendan, fights his way into the tournament, the two brothers must finally confront each other and the forces that pulled them apart. Great movie. Awesome fight scenes. A lot of heart in it. Joel Edgerton, you'd know him if you saw him. He's that kind of guy. He was in like the most recent Great Gatsby. He's been in a few different movies, and him and Tom Hardy just had a great chemistry or tension, since it was mostly them. They obviously end up fighting in this tournament. So
are they the brothers?
They're brothers, yeah.
Oh, I've never seen the movie. I don't know who either of them are. So I really can't give too much.
You know who Tom Hardy is. Tom Hardy's Bane from Batman 3.
I've only ever seen him in that, and I didn't even see that. I only saw the scene on the football field from that.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess is that a sports movie?
No, he's going to be in Dunkirk. That looks like a cool movie.
I don't even know what that is.
World War II film. Coming out, but yeah. So that's number 4 for me.
All right, number 4 for Tony. The Greatest Game Ever Played, 2005 film starring Shia LaBeouf. In the 1913 U.S. Open, 20-year-old Francis Ouimet played against his idol, 1900 U.S. Open champ Harry Verdun. Never heard of this movie?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it. I've only kind of heard of Shia LaBeouf. I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, I think...
Was he even Stevens? He's been in
Transformers,
Constantine.
Yeah.
Constantine's a really good movie.
He tells you to just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. In a very famous YouTube thing.
He just sits there and watches his own movies and laughs.
Yeah. He was in what's that?
Disturbia.
Singer? Yeah. Oh yeah. That was a fun one. I like that movie.
Not the Rihanna song. That's not fun. Anyways, I don't know any more about this movie, and I don't really like Shia LaBeouf, so I'm ready to move on if you are.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this movie. I'm sure it's probably wonderful.
Classic Tony picking a golf movie.
Yeah, I'm not a big... well, I picked a golf one too, but I mean, it's Happy Gilmore, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a big golfer, so it's tough to relate, I guess.
Yeah.
And I've never seen it, so that makes it tougher too.
Yeah, that makes it really difficult. So let's just recap. My number 4, Talladega Nights, Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Your number 4, Warrior.
Yep.
Tony's number 4, The Greatest Game Ever Played. All right, so that brings us now to number 3. Number 3 is where my controversy begins.
I can't wait, because you've been talking about this, but you wouldn't tell me what movie this was. So let's see it.
So we're arguing that mixed martial arts is a sport, right?
Sure. If you say Karate Kid.
It's not Karate Kid. Pause for dramatic effect.
Oh,
nope, I am going with the 2000 movie Gladiator.
Okay. I wouldn't have considered that, but I mean, if we're going with MMA as a sport, then it's kind of hard to say that MMA taken to the extreme is not a sport.
Right.
Great movie. Absolutely love that movie. So fantastic choice.
Yeah.
Let's hear the blurb because no one's heard of Gladiator, right?
Right. Starring Russell Crowe as Maximus, who's the main protagonist. Joaquin Phoenix.
Sidious Meridius or whatever.
Maximus.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't remember any more of his name after that. I just remember it was Maximus. And it also stars very underrated Joaquin Phoenix as Commodus.
So young.
Uh-huh. Yeah, very young. He's the main antagonist. This movie is cinematic brilliance. One of the best movies I've ever seen. IMDb says, when a Roman general is betrayed and his family murdered by an emperor's corrupt son, he comes to Rome as a gladiator to seek revenge. I think that's very mildly putting what happens in the movie. But like I said, one of it's not
that is the most understated blurb I've ever seen.
Not only one of the best sports movies, it's one of my 5 favorite movies, I would think. And the only reason it makes number 3 is because it only has a loose affiliation with sports. So if this were a list of movies, it'd probably be in my top 5.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Definitely enjoyable. Not for the children. Don't bring young kids to see that.
I'd let my kids watch it.
It's very bloody. But,
I don't. That's life. That's life, my friend.
But yeah, great movie. So I'm behind you on that one. I'll allow it.
Perfect. And all those don't let all those dead people hear anyone say that it's not a sport. All right, what you got at number 3?
Number 3, I have Space Jam. Classic basketball movie starring Michael Jordan, of course. It's everyone's, I think, classic from at least our generation when we were kids. This came out and it became an instant favorite. The blurb says, Swackhammer, played by Danny DeVito, an evil alien theme park owner, needs a new attraction at Moron Mountain. When his gang, the Nerdlucks, head to Earth to kidnap Bugs Bunny and the Looney Tunes, Bugs challenges them to a basketball game to determine their fate. The aliens agree, but they steal the powers of NBA basketball players, including Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, and some others. So Bugs gets some help from superstar Michael Jordan. And, of course, Michael's better than all these basketball players combined, and you've got Bugs Bunny saying, "What's up, Doc?" and doing his shenanigans, and it's just a great one. If you like a combination of Looney Tunes and sports, which I'm all for.
I'm going to be honest, I hated that movie at first.
Oh, yeah?
It wasn't until I was like 17 or 18 that I really got into that movie. I think I've always been someone who prefers reality to like fantasy type of things. Like, I hate Harry Potter. I hate Lord of the Rings.
How dare you?
Because it's not real.
Of course it's not real. We were just talking about wrestling.
But at least it looks real enough. I don't like, and when I saw Michael Jordan's outstretched arm, I was, my goodness.
Way to ruin the ending for our listeners.
You don't know what he was doing with that arm. He could have been high-fiving someone.
That's
you don't
exactly
know.
what he was doing.
He could have been...
and don't forget that Bill Murray's in this movie, so it, of course, becomes an instant classic.
What's his name? The guy who plays Newman from Seinfeld is in it, too.
Oh, yeah.
Wayne Knight. I think is his name. Wayne Knight.
Let's see. Patrick Ewing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, Patrick Ewing.
It is Wayne Knight. Yep. Yeah, Patrick Ewing gets his power stolen, too.
Yep. No, I also hate Seinfeld. So
I never watched it, so I don't care. There's a very love-hate thing with people who have watched it, I guess. And
what's up with that?
I just don't care. So there's that.
All right.
I bet you if Tony was here, he probably would love it or something. We'd have a whole debate, but whatever.
Yeah, but Tony's not here, so whatever. All right. So now, number 3. Again, movie I've never seen. This time I've never heard of. Good job, Tony. Blue Chips, 1994.
Let's hear the blurb.
A college basketball coach is forced to break the rules in order to get the players he needs to stay competitive. Starring Nick Nolte.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen this either. I don't really want to see it based off of that description, but I guess it's got Shaq. And, if you love such classics as Kazam and
Icy Hot commercials?
Yeah. There's the other one where he's like a superhero.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man, that's an instant classic as well. I forget what it's called, but
we should have a.
If you love Shaq's acting, which I know that many of us do, then I'm sure this is the movie to watch off of this list.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, I love Shaq. Shaq is definitely one of my favorite basketball players of all time. But this movie sounds like it's precursor to John Calipari, Because this guy literally gets all of his wins vacated everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
It happened at UMass. It happened at Memphis. It's only a matter of time before they get vacated at Kentucky.
So this movie's obviously based on true events. Basically not with Shaq, or maybe who knows, but yeah, it's
actually it's 1994, so it's older than Calipari, his coaching.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think it's the blueprint.
This has certainly happened before, and I'm sure after Calipari. I'm sure it's probably happening right now. There's just no way of knowing for sure. And,
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, probably sticks pretty close to the truth, and that's all I have to contribute to that, having not seen it.
Also, Nick Nolte, again. Guy is a mess.
Paying people off, alcoholic.
Yeah. So, let's recap our number 3s. Mine, Gladiator, one of the best movies ever made. Dan, yours was...
Space Jam,
one of the strangest movies ever made. And Tony's is Blue Chips, one of the movies that no one's ever seen. So we're getting through these actually really, really quickly tonight.
Good, yeah. We have heard feedback from our listeners that, gotta shorten these shows up a little bit, so...
Oh, I want to go the opposite direction. Let's make this a 4-hour affair.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we would get so many people listening all the way through that, because everyone's got that kind of time.
Right. Number 2, I have Cinderella Man.
Ah, okay, that was one of my honorable mentions. I very much enjoy that movie.
Love the movie. Love it.
Again with the...
Russell Crowe.
Mr. Crowe, yeah.
Yeah. So, starring Russell Crowe as Jim Braddock, Renee Zellweger as May Braddock, and one of the strangest people that I've ever seen in any movie, Paul Giamatti. Still a great movie. It's the real-life story of James Braddock, a supposedly washed-up boxer who came back to become a champion and an inspiration in the 1930s. Crazy stuff happens in the movie. He, at one point, was working on a dock, lost his job. This is during the Great Depression, obviously.
Yep.
So his life is like spiraling out of nowhere. Plus, he also had to be married to Renee Zellweger, which is awful in itself.
The trials and tribulations of this guy.
Yeah, poor James Braddock. But he makes, as it said, a comeback. He fights one of the baddest men to ever step in a boxing ring, Max Baer, who has killed multiple people in real life, stepping in the ring with him. And I think he was also, Max Baer, this is, the father in real life of the guy who played Jed Clampett on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, okay.
So,
interesting.
Weird piece of trivia there, but that might not even be factual. That's what my dad told me. But definitely a great movie if you want to see kind of a depressing, then pick-me-up kind of sports movie.
Yeah, it is very depressing for large parts, but it's got a good theme, I guess. And,
yeah,
definitely a great movie to watch, especially if you like any kind of fighting. And
I love fighting.
Yeah,
I love fighting. I want to know, how would he have fared against Kimbo Slice?
I think he would have beat Kimbo Slice like Kimbo Slice fared when he got into real MMA.
Oh yeah, he was great at knocking suckers out in the street.
Yeah,
getting the octagon. Well, I think he was like 3-5.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
Heavyweight's weird anyway, though, or super heavyweight, whatever he was.
Yeah, I mean, anything that Brock Lesnar can do, I'm not too impressed. All right, so number 2, what have you got?
Rudy. Rudy is one of my favorite movies in general. The blurb is Rudy Rudiger, played by Sean Astin from Lord of the Rings, which I hate, which is just ridiculous. Wants to play football at the University of Notre Dame, but has neither the money for tuition nor the grades to qualify for a scholarship. Rudy redoubles his efforts to get out of the steel mill where his father works when his best friend dies in an accident there, overcoming his dyslexia thanks to his friend and tutor D-Bob. Rudy gains admission to Notre Dame and begins to fight his way onto the school's fabled football team. It also doesn't mention that he is extremely undersized for football. He does, after all, play a hobby.